Good afternoon. Welcome to our Dell Music Lounge live audience. Say hello on the radio. Want to thank Cabo Bob's, who fed our live audience, Dell Technologies, of course, and Lone River Ranch Water. After 6 days in Zilker Park, we are in a much more intimate space here, our Dell Music Lounge. And Spoon, who join us this afternoon, have been everywhere the last couple of weeks. 2 shows in Zilker Park, a show for the Austin Parks Foundation out in Zilker Park, an official ACL Fest night show. I've probably missed some things because they spent a week in between touring as well. And then they will tape Austin City Limits, the television show, tomorrow evening for the 5th time. We'll talk more about that in a moment. As if that's not enough, Lucifer on the Sofa is obviously out now. Lucifer on the Moon, a complete reconstruction of the album, that comes out on November 4th. This, live on Austin City Limits Radio, is Spoon.
I was reminded every measure, riding trade winds, buried treasure. I got on fine with modern living, but must I be such a citizen when the world is still so wild, called to be? I was lost, I was caught on my knees. The trippers and Alaskans, they surrounded me, all them describing how they'd like me, all them wanting something special. Bring them roses, sing them blues, and the world still so wild, called to me. I was caught, I was lost on my knees. I looked full over all the lies and appealing to me, advertising, and I was living tight every night. And the world still so wild, called to me. I was lost, I was kept on my knees, and the world still so wild. Yeah. I was on 45th, I was half out of a bag. Yes, I knew that you saw me, you laughed when I looked back. I thought I'd given up, now it didn't feel so bad. And then a shot went through me, and then I walked right back. Do you want to get understood? Do you want more fame, or are you looking for sainthood? Do you feel it black and blue? Or do you, do you, do you, do you, do, 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 do? obstacles. Someone do something about this heat. 'Cause it's late in October and tar still fell in the street. You tiptoe for ages, but lose yourself, flipping back pages, unbuckling belts. Oh, love, that's the way love comes. Do you, don't you know that's the way love comes? Do you feel it black and blue? Thank you.
Spoon on Austin City Limits Radio from our Dell Music Lounge. Like I said, the reconstructed Lucifer on the Moon, Lucifer on the Sofa comes out. Or, no, Lucifer on the Moon is the yeah, you know what I meant.
I know what you mean,
That
Andy.
comes out November 4th. So the other day, at that Parks Foundation event that I mentioned you played, you weren't thrilled with your performance that night.
Lord.
So you came off stage, you said to me, I wish you had seen another show. And what I thought was interesting is how much you still care 30 years into this. That a lot of folks would have played that show that people genuinely enjoyed and walked off and thought, that's another night that I've done this.
Well,
And
I
that's
didn't
it.
know we'd be talking about it on the air.
Well,
or
no,
I might not
but-
have mentioned it, but yeah, it was. It just wasn't our best. You know, we had equipment problems. I was pretty worn down. We had taken some late night bus rides, and when I get on that bus, I just do not want to go to sleep. It's kind of like a, you know, it's like a slumber party basically, and yeah, I was a little rough that day, but it was good. We got through it.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, it points out to me, or it emphasizes to me, that you care. That this isn't something
Yeah.
that at this point in your career you're walking through.
Well, that's true. That's very true. I do care.
I mean, I think recently there's been a lot of Spoon is the most consistent band across however long. Consistency has become this word that's attached to Spoon, and has been for a while. But I guess, unlike prolific, where there's an expectation that somebody who's prolific, the expectation isn't that it's always going to be good. Consistency probably leads to an undue amount of pressure, or at least a lot of pressure. Do you feel that?
I mean, yeah, when we make a record, there's pressure on ourselves for it to be good, you know, and we'll keep working at it until it's done. We just won't put it out if it's not good enough. And this record took, I mean, there were a few reasons why this record took a little too long, but some of them were out of our hands.
Way out of your hands.
Yes, but yeah, we'll keep working on it till it's good.
Is the same philosophy that a cover is only worth doing if you're really gonna do something to it, the philosophy that you approach with remixes?
Yeah, I guess so. Like when we started, we did not think we were making an album. You're talking about the Lucifer on the Moon. We just thought we were going to do a couple of mixes, and sometimes these mixes, you know, you get asked by the label to provide more content, right? And so a remix comes up, that idea. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, and we really wanted to seek out someone who was going to have our sort of philosophy about how to approach it, you know, working on it. We didn't want it to be a remix that sounded like it was just made by computers. You know, we wanted it to sound like it was made by hand. And so we sought out this guy, Adrian Sherwood, he wanted to do it. He did a couple songs, and they were fantastic. And then we just kept doing more. And then even though we hadn't finished the record, and I hadn't heard from him for a couple months, he said, "Here's the rest of them." I didn't want it to be, I didn't want to do just some of the songs. And then we had a whole album, you know.
Are there revelations in
November.
there for you? I mean, somebody who spent so much time creating this music, to hear it sent back to you in a different way.
Yeah, and I loved that. You know, like he approached it in ways that I never would have thought to. He had musicians play on it that play the songs. You know, he had musicians say, add a drum track or add a bass track, and they approached it in ways we never could have. And you know, he found things on the tracks like Gerardo goofing around and showing off his Cuban accent versus his Mexican accent. Stuff that just did not make the record. He found it and he put it at the end of the track. You know, right up front. So cool things like that.
Austin City Limits, the television show, your 5th time tomorrow night. Is that one of the harder set lists to make?
Well, in a way, yeah, because they put out a Best of Spoon episode, right? And you don't want to do those songs, and those are some of, as you know.
But you want to do those songs.
Yeah, these are songs that are normally in our set. So, yeah, we'll be playing a lot of, you know, some rarities, some old songs, and a lot of songs from the new record tomorrow.
All right. One of the things you and I have touched on before, but I think is worth revisiting, is that you're a guy who's not overly nostalgic for the early days, for Austin that you know you were a part of early on, the Electric Lounge, Hole in the Wall days, etc. You're not one of those. This city's changed too much, and the scene's changed too much, and there's nothing good out there, and blah blah blah.
There's you know, there's things I miss about the old days, but I think the conversation we were having was, yeah, there's still a lot of amazing things happening in Austin. There's still a lot of magic, and I find it often.
And you take a lot of those folks on the road. I mean, that's one of the things that I think a lot of, I mean, you and Gary Clark Jr. in particular end up taking a lot of Austin folks on the road and showing them in oftentimes their first tour, or just putting them in front of your audience. You don't have to do that, but you do.
Yeah, well, it's fun for us, you know, and we want to handpick the bands that are going to come out with us. It says something, I mean, it makes it a more fun gig for us, a more fun tour for us. And yeah, if we get to show people in the Pacific Northwest Black Joe Lewis for the very first time, or a Giant Dog, then, you know, that feels good. They should hear those bands.
This far in, how do you measure progress?
I don't know how many times I get to talk to you per album cycle. You know, we like where we're at.
I mean, but is that something
I feel
you think
successful.
about?
What's that?
I don't necessarily mean commercial progress.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that this is still. Is it fun and still worth doing?
I mean, that's the most important thing. Are you having a good time doing it? And I still have a lot of fun touring, and I have a lot of fun making records, and I'm proud of the record we just made. So, you know, there it is.
All right, there it is.
That's success.
Once again, live on Austin City Limits Radio, this is Spoon.
Time's gone inside out. Time gets distorted when there's intense gravity. I don't make time for holy rollers, although they may wash my feet. And I won't be their soldier. There's intense gravity in you. I'm just your satellite. Oh, I know that time's gone inside out. And now it's only like I told you. Oh, wash my feet. They do not make me complete. Break out a character for me. Time keeps on going when we got nothing less to give. Oh, and I curse our time's gone inside out. And I don't make time for holy rollers. Oh, there's only you I need. They do not make me complete.
Thank you. Yeah. Cue the drums.
You catch everything I never could. You believe when I gave up for good. And when you stand beside me, I can tell I'm stronger than I've ever been. But if you leave, you know you don't come back. I came home last night, I had no good news. I came home last night, I had no good news. And you've received me through the brightest flash of apocalyptic run. And if you leave, I'll never sing another tune. Oh, put on your red shoes, sing it to me, lover girl. When you do my love, I forget the world. And if you say run, I may run with you. I got no one else. I got nowhere else. As the sun goes fading in the west, there's an army east that's rising still. And when you stand beside me, I feel something stronger than I ever could. But if you leave, you better run away for good. 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 Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Spoon live on Austin City Limits Radio. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, y'all.
Lucifer on the Moon out November 4th, and tomorrow night they will tape Austin City Limits, the television show, for the 5th time. All right, thanks for doing this, and we want to thank Cabo Bob's, Dell Technologies, Lone River Ranch Water, and our live studio audience that's with us this afternoon. Thanks to you folks, and that's it from our Dell Music Lounge. I'm going to throw it back downstairs to myself.
Thanks, Ann.